I have a really big interest in environmental justice. So environmental justice is the idea that certain groups of people are more exposed to environmental hazards than others. My name is Paige Kadavy. I graduated from Central in 2016. I went directly to college. I still go to the Colorado School of Mines. I actually graduated last May with my mechanical engineering undergrad degree, and then I went straight into my master's program. My master's program is a first-year master's program, so I'm in the first students of the first cohort ever. It's Humanitarian Engineering and Science is the name of the program. Then I'll graduate in May, and then hopefully get a job after that is the plan. Basically, the whole idea of humanitarian engineering is looking at engineering from the perspective of doing all of this scientific work for people. Because you think of any project that's done, and no matter what, there are different stakeholders that are involved. Whether it's building a well somewhere to get water to a community, or if it's building a dam, or if it's creating some sort of product to put on a shelf in a store. There are people that have a stake in that process. And what I really want to do is be the person that kind of gaps the bridge between technical and social, right? We have this paradigm where technical lives on one side, social lives on the other, and they never intersect, when in actuality, they coexist. Basically, we're incorporating people into engineering more than they have been before. But not only in asking their input, but kind of in the entire process. It's super, super beneficial to grow up around such a diverse community with so many different cultural backgrounds. I think that was really, really important for me, especially now that I went to a less diverse college. I really had that experience before I came to college, which was really important to me. And then it kind of formed my interest as far as sustainable community development goes. So that's what I want to do with my career eventually, is work with minority communities, impoverished communities, and really engaging them in any projects that are taking place in their communities themselves. So I think that really subconsciously kind of was the motivation behind what I want to end up doing with my career. Mr. Birch at Central was one of my favorite teachers ever. He wrote all of my college recommendation letters and all of that kind of stuff. Andy Hartshorn was awesome. He's actually the first person who got me really interested in math, which is kind of cool because now I do science and math all the time. They really followed me from high school to college, and it felt to me like they were super invested in kind of my future and what I was going to be doing. That's hard. I think just having relationships with your teachers is really important. Talk to them. They're normal people too. I have great relationships with them still. And I love going back and sitting down and talking to them and telling them about my life. So I think that's super, super important. And then just enjoying the time that you have there. Being in the position I'm at as a grad student in the program I'm in, it's our responsibility to be resources for teachers as they're trying to figure out this whole new way of teaching, right? So basically we're creating activities for Earth Day that talk about sustainability and environmentalism, renewable resources and stuff like that. We have different activities that will basically tell the teachers about and give them the supplies to do. And then the teachers will run those activities with their students after we log off, because it'll be all virtual. For example, one of the activities that I kind of thought about was doing a mystery bag, right? So just a brown paper bag, and then having all different kinds of recycled materials, so cardboard, plastic. Each one has a little note card in it. It's use these recycled materials, create something related to wind energy or water power or something like that. And then they have to use all these recycled materials to create this little product. And I can see myself being a sustainability analyst. That's kind of a lot of the jobs I've applied to have been sustainability analysis jobs. And I've applied to some community development specialists because I have a lot of experience with community mapping and participatory research and stuff like that. So those two, and then at some point I'd really like to work for a nonprofit or like sit on a board of a nonprofit. Maybe someday own my own nonprofit. That'd be super cool.